Have you ever noticed something strange about people? Sometimes the same thing that destroys someone's life is also the exact thing that makes another person successful. That thing is ego. Now wait. Before you start thinking ego is just arrogance or attitude, let me ask you a simple question. Why do some people suddenly transform their lives after someone insults them? Someone says, "You'll never succeed." And a few years later, that same person is successful. Why? Was it motivation? Discipline? Luck? Sometimes it was just ego. Yes, the same ego people say is dangerous can also become one of the strongest fuels for success. But here's the twist. Ego is like fire. If you don't control it, it burns your house down. But if you control it, it can cook your food, warm your home, and power your life. The real question is not, do you have ego? Everyone has it. The real question is your ego controlling you, or are you controlling it? Let's talk about it. Think about a small situation. Imagine you send a message to your friend, and he doesn't reply for hours. Suddenly your brain starts talking. Why hasn't he replied? Is he ignoring me? I'm not texting again first. And boom, your ego has entered the chat. Now both people are waiting for the other person to text first. 2 days pass, then a week. And suddenly a friendship quietly dies, not because of a big fight, but because of two egos sitting silently. Funny thing is, if one person had simply sent a message saying, "Hey, what's up?" everything would be normal. But ego said, "Don't do it. You'll look weak." And this is exactly how ego slowly steals relationships, opportunities, and growth from people. Ego often makes us believe something dangerous, that we are always right. When someone gives advice, ego whispers, "They think you're stupid." When someone corrects you, ego whispers, "They're insulting you." When someone succeeds before you, ego whispers, "They don't deserve it." And slowly, without realizing it, ego builds a small, invisible wall around you, a wall where nobody can give you advice. Nobody can challenge you. Nobody can correct you. And when that happens, growth stops. Because the moment you think, "I already know everything," you stop learning anything new. But here's the interesting part. Ego is not always the villain. Sometimes ego becomes the hero of the story. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine someone laughs at your dream. They say, "You? Start a business? That's funny." Or someone says, "You'll never become successful." Now two things can happen. One person feels sad and gives up, but another person feels something different. Something burns inside them. Their ego says, "Watch me." And suddenly they start working harder than ever. They wake up early. They learn new skills. They stay consistent. Not because they suddenly became super motivated, but because their ego refuses to accept the idea of failure. That's the positive power of ego.it can push you when motivation disappears. It can keep you moving when nobody believes in you. It can remind you that you deserve respect. But the secret is direction. Ego without direction creates arrogance. Ego with direction creates drive. Think about athletes. Many of them have huge egos, but they use that ego to train harder. They hate losing. They hate being second at so they practice more. They run faster. They lift heavier. Their ego pushes them to become better every single day. But if that same ego becomes arrogance, something different happens. They stop listening to coaches. They stop learning, and slowly, they start losing to so the problem is not ego itself. The problem is uncontrolled ego. Controlling ego doesn't mean killing it. It means training it. Just like training a strong animal. If it runs wild, it destroys things. But if it is trained, it becomes powerful. So how do you control ego? First, awareness. Start noticing your reactions. When someone criticizes you, ask yourself one question. Is my ego reacting? Or is this actually wrong? Sometimes people really are trying to help, but ego turns help into insult. Second, stay curious. The smartest people in the world keep learning. Not because they are weak, but because they understand something powerful. Every person knows something you don't. When you stay open to learning, ego loses its power to block growth. Third, learn the power of silence. You don't always have to win arguments. You don't always have to prove yourself. Sometimes the strongest move is to simply stay quiet and let your results speak. Because when you argue, people forget your words. But when you succeed, people remember your actions. And finally, remember this. Ego should protect your self-respect, not your pride. Self-respect says, "I deserve respect." Pride says, I must always be right. One helps you grow, the other traps you. Life will test your ego many times. When someone insults you, when someone criticizes you, when someone succeeds before you. In those moments, your ego will whisper two different things. Point one voice will say, prove them wrong. The other voice will say, don't listen to anyone. One voice builds you, the other destroys you. The difference is which voice you follow. So the next time your ego wakes up, don't try to destroy it. Just ask yourself a simple question. Is my ego pushing me to grow, or is it pushing me to prove? Because growth builds your future, but proving things to people only feeds your ego for a moment. And when you finally learn to guide your ego instead of fighting it, that's when it stops being your enemy and starts becoming your power.